We knew this day was coming. The question is, do you want back Zeke and Pollard or just one of them? What's good, people? It's your boy, Mr. Rome, Cowboys fan talk, right back like I never left. What's up with y'all, man? How y'all feeling? Hey, I ain't gonna lie. I'm feeling pretty terrible. It ain't got nothing to do with the Cowboys, though. CFT got a cold and it's kicking my butt. Like, seriously. I've been trying to power through. Ain't enough Dayquil in the world. Theraflu, all that. I'm in every remedy. Tea, lemon. I'm hurting. Sorry, y'all. I'm still gonna get you all content. So if I sound a little raspy, little baby Jadakiss, you know what the deal is. But for today's dose of Cowboys news, because no matter what, it's always something going on in Cowboys Nation. You don't even gotta try. It's always something going on. Today's story is sources or reports are saying that the Cowboys will be willing to bring back Zeke if he takes a big pay cut. Now, this story has kind of been leaked out, sort of, but it keeps coming back around like once a week. Sources are saying, Zeke was supposed to be making like $16 million this year, and he has to be taking a large pay cut. That's the difference today. Like, they wanted to be specific, a large pay cut if they're going to bring him back. And I'm just ask you, please, if you can, in the comments, man, do me a favor. Well, two things. Hit the sub button if you can, or the like button. But other than that, do you want Zeke back? I've asked that before. I think my last video about Zeke, I was talking about making him a fullback, just trying to keep him on the team because I got love for Zeke. And I'm trying to figure out a way to use him going forward, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to him. If he somehow watched this video, somebody that knows him watched this video. I love Zeke, the player. I love him, what he's done for this team. But I do know the NFL is a cutthroat business, and at some point you got to cut bait. I do, Someday I'm gonna have to give up, and we're gonna move on from Dak someday. You know what I'm saying? That's not gonna be this year, so we ain't gotta talk about it. But if he takes a substantial pay cut, that's great financially. But then you really got to say, like, what's Zeke gonna do for the team? Like, seriously. Like, he didn't look good in the playoffs, man. With Tony Pollard going down and our offense looking stagnant and us having to run the ball, it was Zeke's moment to step up and just do something. And it's his fault. It happens to running backs, man. We ran him into the ground. Year after year of him just in between the tackles and just, he has little small flashes, but the same Zeke ain't coming out. You'd have to find a very unique way to use him. Am I saying Zeke's completely washed up? No, I'm not. I'm saying that he's to where he's got to be a specific role type player. The days of him just being the bell cow, him being our number one running back, those days is over. That's probably shifted to Tony Pollard. Now, Tony Pollard took a brutal injury. And the NFL's been talking about exploring changing the rule of that drop tackle where you drop your weight on the back of somebody. The tackle that hurt Dak and now hurt Pollard. Hope they go through with that. Pollard is our number one running back if he resigns or if they franchise him. That's the other story that came in today. It's Cowboys running back day, right? The other story is that the Cowboys plan on franchise tagging Tony Pollard for like 10 plus million, like 10.4, something like that. And I'm not opposed to it. Because Tony Pollard produced 1,500 yards this year, a little over 1,000 rushing, almost 400 to 500 passing. He was phenomenal. 12 touchdowns. Like, that's worth $10 million. You say, okay, here's $10 million. Get me 1,500 yards of production, running and passing, running and receiving, and 12 touchdowns. You'll take that. Any team will be like, here go to 10. You know what I'm saying? That's worth it. There's people making 20 that ain't getting 12 touchdowns. So it'll be worth it. My thing is, if Zeke don't take a substantial pay cut, you can't pay two running backs great money. And if you say, okay, Zeke's going to make $4 million and then Tony's going to make $10 million, that's still $15 million in the running back room. If you look at the Super Bowl teams, even the Eagles, they're spending like $6 million on all their running backs. I think the Chiefs are spending like $4 million on all their running backs combined. So it starts to think, are we allocating our funds properly? It'll be very hard to walk away from Tony Pollard with that production and Zeke Elliott in the same season. You know what I'm saying? Another story that's out today, they're talking about getting rid of Tyron Smith, too. It's just a lot of things going on. Trust me, it's going to be a off season of revelations and changes, and we got to get used to this stuff. But, you know, sticking to the running backs, I wouldn't be mad if they brought back Pollard. But I almost think that you got to bring in some young blood. I wanted to see what Malik Davis can do, but they apparently didn't have enough faith in him. Maybe it was just Kellen. His chance was then. They should have put him in and seen what he had. You know what I'm saying? I don't know who, I feel like offensive personnel and packaging was all Kellen because he was the offensive coordinator. So maybe somebody like Mike McCarthy would have said, yo, get the young blood in there and let's just see what he can do. You know what I'm saying? But does signing Pollard, answer this question too for me in the comments, does signing Pollard kill the Bijan Robinson talk or the Gibbs from Alabama talk or any other running back? I don't think it should. I think the hardest thing that I'm coming to terms with is we really might have to move on from Zeke. We just really might have to. I don't know no other way around it. It's the end of an era. Obviously, we didn't get where we wanted to go. But if you bring back Pollard, I don't think you can bring back both. Unless Zeke's going to come back on the league minimum, and his pride won't let him do that. He can go somewhere else and make $3 to $4 million just off his name alone. So does him wanting to be a Cowboy, is it worth it? We even saw Emmitt Smith leave at a point. Now, obviously, he was a 3-time champion. But we've seen players leave. We had to move on from Dez Bryant. Tony Romo thought about playing somewhere else before he got the other job. It happens. And we really going to have to probably move on from Ezekiel Elliott. We just are. We got to rip the Band-Aid off and just let it go. Bring back Tony on the franchise tag because I don't think he's ran enough to be, wrapped up. Luckily, this was a sprain and a clean break. It wasn't knee ligaments. Thank God. So you bring back Tony healthy and you get him a young running mate. And I told you I'll get on draft content after the Super Bowl. But yeah, man. I do think it might be time it just might be time. 2-1 is that dude, but I don't know what to say. I really, really don't. I know that Tony Pollard will come back next year hungry, wanting to earn a contract somewhere else. I hate the franchise tag because I feel like you can give Tony a couple-year deal. You can't pay him like you paid Zeke. And the smarter thing would be to give Tony a 2 to 3 year deal, spread that money out. You know what I'm saying? But we're going to have to just see. We're just going to have to just see. You know what I'm saying? And then you always in the back of your mind, you got to say, I got to see how Tony looks coming back. That's why you can't push all your eggs into Tony Pollard's are going to be our bell cow. Because what if the injury affected him? Sometimes injuries really affect people. You can say, it wasn't that type of injury. I don't know. It's almost like a somber day. Because it's a lot of change happening. Change can be great, though. Change can be good. It's just thinking about the fact that next year you might not see 2-1 in the backfield. That's just different. And then you pray that Tony Pollard comes back fully healthy. And then you're curious about, well, who can we bring in? We're not going to sound like a Josh Jacobs or nobody like that. Who can we draft to add to this running back room? Somewhere in them 7 rounds, we got to get another running back. Period. Somebody that's viable, not just like an unrestricted free agent or something, or undrafted player or something. I wanted to put some effort into the next back. Because you never know. And if Tony's not right, you're going to need him to carry the load. So it's important. Anyway, man, I just want to know y'all thoughts, man. It's a weird day, man. Possibly moving on from 2-1. Even if he's willing to take a pay cut, is it worth bringing him back? I don't know. I would love for y'all to let me know y'all thoughts in the comments, man. All I know is this. We need to do what's right for this team, man. This year is pivotal for a lot of people. Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott, et cetera, et cetera. It's your boy, Mr. Rowe, man. I'll holla.